Hey everybody, welcome to Speedbump. It's time for a race of Klonoa on the Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, this is a Game Boy Advance version.
Game Boy Advance. We have 5 players here, and if you're ready, Author Blues, you can start the race whenever you want.
All right, I'm gonna give them the start.
I'm gonna pull audio from Dude on player 1 there.
This game looks pretty good. I was watching some footage of it, and it obviously plays very differently than all the 2.5D Klonoas out there, but it looks really nice. I didn't know there was a really nice Game Boy Advance Klonoa out there.
Starting that clock.
So we're giving them 30 minutes to see how far they can get. I think in expectation, we probably won't see much more than maybe just a little bit of World 2. This isn't a short game, and every single level requires you to collect 3 stars just to make it out the door. So it has a little bit of a collectathon vibe in that sense. They need these stars. They need these stars, though, to beat the level. So they aren't optional. They're not for fun pickups. The door that exits the level doesn't open unless you collect all 3 of the stars.
We're going to give them 30 minutes to do
30 minutes to see how far they make.
I think I've Mr. Triathlon this game before. You have to grab the enemies and throw them to get the boost. I remember this. It's interesting. It's well made. It's unusual.
Yeah, we actually did a mystery race of Klonoa, the first one for the PlayStation? I'm not sure. That sounds right, though.
Yeah.
First one for the PlayStation. And that's a really good game. The issues, like the real challenges with the PlayStation one is that because it's got that 2.5D aesthetic, there's actually a lot of branching paths, and it's very easy to get yourself lost or disoriented. But because this is just 2D, move from room to room, I think people might... My expectation is people will feel a little less lost by it. There are optional auto-scrollers. I informed them how they work and that they can skip them. Some of the levels, sometimes when they beat a level, more than one level will appear. If it's got a yellow dot on it, it's an auto-scroller, and they can skip those. They aren't required to play them.
Boxes can come in handy.
Yeah, it's nice being able to throw something that doesn't immediately explode upon impact, so you can reuse it.
Yeah, I was wondering about the soft lock problem.
Well, it seems like at a glance that the game gives you back enemies pretty often. So like when you kill an enemy, it seems like it spawns a portal and...
Yeah, I think you're safe. That is case in point. They respawn immediately.
Yeah, not even a moment of downtime. So yeah, I expect that we'll see some branching paths. I don't exactly know, but for the most part, I think the benefit of this will be that it's probably more straightforward for our players. It'll be a little clearer how to progress and how to get around the levels. I remember specifically us having an issue with the PlayStation 1 where you'd have one player enter a level first and then they leave last because they just happened to go down one particularly nasty dead end that they had no reason to know that it was just the wrong way, and they end up really paying a huge cost for it. So maybe this will be more straightforward.
Sometimes I memory hole video games. Like some video games like Titan Quest, which is just a Diablo clone. It's pretty good, but it's just a Diablo clone. I can tell you where every tree is on that world map, and it's quite a large, like miles and miles. I know all of that, but for some reason I cannot remember the Klonoa race to save my life. I just remember it's 2.5D, and we had some players get lost. I don't remember the details.
Oh, that was a cool mechanic, being able to throw the block under the platform because they couldn't carry it through. I've been following different people over the course of this race, just like looking at what progress they're making. It seems like Rob's in the lead to me. Vlad is just about matched with them.
What are the green crystals for?
I'm not sure, actually. It might be... I mean, someone else in chat might know better than I do. It might be like the Mario situation. You hit 30 and you get an extra life.
Rob's on 1-5, which is the furthest type, pretty sure.
Yeah, I think Vlad is pretty close to that, though. Just got the 3rd star on 1-4. Everyone's still pretty close, but obviously the race is very young, so of course everyone's going to be close. So here you can see on Vlad's screen 2 stages spawn from that one, but the one with the yellow dot on it's an auto-scroller that's not strictly necessary to proceed on, so they can skip it. We'll see whether or not people did read my notes.
There you go. Need another boost. Nice. Rob made it.
That was a clutch little move from Rob.
You have a sort of a double jump. It's not strong, but it's strong enough to get that kind of done.
Yeah, you got like a little Yoshi flutter almost.
They added Birdo to Mario Kart.
Nice.
Speaking of Yoshi adjacent things.
That is Yoshi adjacent. Have you played the new tracks yet?
I am forbidding myself from doing it because I'm gonna have company that likes Mario Kart, and I don't want to cheat by having an advantage. I have enough advantages. I want to come in there with the even. We don't know these maps at all. I'm gonna get lost.
Well, I'll tell you, I've heard from my Mario Kart 8 speedrunner friends that the new wave of maps is very good.
I like some of the new ones, but I would say as a whole, mostly because of the Mario Kart Tour stuff in there, that I don't like them as much as the original ones. So we'll see if they measure up this time.
I think that's been somewhat consistent with what I've heard from people. I've heard that this one though in particular is pretty good though. It does have, I think, one Mario Kart Tour level, but the new maps sound like they are a big hit with people.
The first 2 sets they released, the first 8, I was like, this isn't actually great. I don't know. But then they released Waluigi Pinball and Choco Mountain and a couple other good ones, so I started getting into it a little bit. And the last sets, actually, they're not too bad. They're like 50-50 for me, so I actually like some of those maps. But, the tour ones, if I don't have, like, I don't usually need my glasses, but I do need them to drive. If I don't have them for those, I get lost. I don't know where they even want me to go. The signposting is so miserable. It's so unclear. I hate getting lost on the course. Like, I just need to keep racing it until I memorized it, but I don't have that issue with any other Mario Kart maps.
A lot of the Mario Kart Tour maps, I feel like it's this really convoluted stage that keeps changing the track layout every single lap. And that's what aggravates me, is because while I don't think I necessarily should be able to be good at the course the first time I play it, it's like basically unsight readable.
Yeah, like it's okay if it's done carefully. Like Big Blue is like that. It's just one, and the mountain, Wario Mountain, is also like that. It's not the same course 3 laps. It's one big thing that changes. But those ones are just like, you do the second lap and it's the same, except for now you turn right out of nowhere, and they have a little arrow that points right now. And I run into that sign and get dragged out and lose the race every single time. Like every single time, I just run right into the wall. Anyway.
Well, you should have known better.
Yeah, should have been born with better eyes. I'm watching everyone tear right through this game. They're just cruising. Everyone's about the same place now, too. There's a retry in case you do actually get stuck, also. One of the things that you can appreciate with an actual release is the polish of not being able to soft lock, generally speaking. So this kind of game, I didn't have much doubt that they'd make progress with it.
Oh, for sure.
After doing so many janky puzzle games that are not that are just third-party things. this one's all about managing your platforms and your fellas. As you can see, Vlad is putting down a rock and then going back and getting a fella. Now the rock is there to boost. That's very important.
It's a pretty nice puzzle platformer. You know, there's a lot of little questions about trying to get up to some platform, figuring out what combination of boxes and enemies can you actually carry to some location.
Couldn't reach that star. I haven't solved that one yet. Gotta do the spring test to see if that spring can be better than it is. Rob is on the boss.
Looks like we're getting out of World 1 pretty soon.
Boss. 10 minutes in.
What little I had looked into this game made it sound like getting too far into World 2 is not going to be realistic in 30 minutes, and now suddenly I'm wondering, are all of our players just incredible? Like, was I completely wrong?
These are pretty regular mystery guesters.
Sometimes when I don't know how far or like what kind of goal to go with a game, I look at Speedruns Live race results, because there's, you know, blind races for like every single game, so I can use that as a litmus test, and I can say with confidence so far that most, if not all, of our players are going to outpace those races.
Oh, the spring does give you a bigger boost if you're heavier, it looks like. World 2. Magenta Zone. Double Moon.
Smite, I have a brilliant new idea. If they ever bring back like the Speedruns Live mystery tournaments, we should sponsor players to participate in the mystery tournament. Right? If they put Speedbump in their name, we'll split the winnings with them.
I'll get them a shirt. When's the last one of those that's been hosted? I wouldn't mind doing one of those. It's been a while.
Oh man, I can't think of the last times anyone has organized a mystery tournament.
I could do that in a weekend. I ain't scared to organize. I'm so used to putting that kind of stuff together. We have another player on the boss. And I think another player on the boss.
Wait, mystery tournaments are still happening? Mythical's still running them? I guess I've been so out of the loop, I wasn't even aware they were still happening. Wonder if it's because they used to organize them on the IRC, and it's 2023, I refuse to use IRC anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that was a little bit of a technical hurdle. When I was a kid, I knew more about IRC than I knew when I jumped into Speedruns Live to try and use it again in 2015. I remember making my own chatbot from whatever freaking language that was when I was like 10 in IRC and living in there. And then when I went to do it in Speedruns Live, I'm like, /join? What is this?
So Rob and Vlad are both on World 2, with Dude now heading into the boss.
We have I mean, we're using right now, we have a race bot that is basically Speedrun Live's IRC in Discord. if they want help getting there, I mean, I ain't scared to help. If I don't know who I would talk to about that. But I'm around. I'll support that community anytime. If a bot is the problem, if that's all they're missing.
There's another website that popped up in the last, let's say, 3 years or so, that basically did what Speedruns Live does, but gives it a full web front end instead of IRC based, which honestly, that's the way they should have gone a long time ago, but
yeah, that's the part I don't have done is the web interface yet.
Yeah, race time GG.
Nice.
It's not a perfect system, but it basically does what Speedruns Live IRC did, but with a web interface, which was kind of nice at the time. Rob moving into 2-2 now. Levels are getting a little more involved. Puzzles are definitely getting more complicated. Things like blocking these giant jets of wind.
Targon has beaten the boss. That leaves Digi working on the last stage of World 1.
Yeah, this is great progress.
One more star for them to go. At least for me, Speedruns Live is useful for Rogue Legacy, and obviously Link to the Past Randomizer, which I see is still #1 on this new site.
Oh yeah. Speedruns Live and, or rather, A Link to the Past Randomizer is still... Man, I don't know how many years it'll be before A Link to the Past Randomizer finally drops off, but people are still wild about it. I mean, I got nothing against it. I'm not looking for it to disappear, but it's wild to me that it's maintained such relevance for so long.
The universe where you did that with me, and you actually enjoyed it and wanted to do it again, we'd still be playing that every day. No other content.
It's one of those things that, like, if I were to just take, let's say, a week and a half even, to just do nothing but A Link to the Past Randomizers by myself so I could, like, learn the logic. The problem is that the only times I've ever played it have been with, I think, just with you, or at the very least just with friends, and, like, following someone else's logic along the way doesn't teach me a whole lot. I don't know if other people are better at learning that way, but I just can't. I have to kind of, like... I have to internalize some of those things. And so it just never clicked with me. But I know that I would probably enjoy it a lot if I were to just give it a shot. I've just never really given it a fair shot.
I went from taking 6 or 7 hours to being Link to the Past to being able to do those pretty quickly. It just takes 1 or 2 runs. I learned where all the pots are, because we did pottery lottery, where the items are in every pot. And that took a little bit, but it's still not that long. If you're good at Link to the Past, it kind of snaps in. There's really not that many items. They're all in meaningful places.
The greatest travesty is that, you know, more people haven't picked up Llama Lana Randomizer, because that's the real good one.
That one seems strange, but I guess it works. You'd have to find those swamp small keys, or you can't get through the game. That video just got posted, and everybody was commenting swamp small on my YouTube, and I didn't remember why. But me and Diabetes had raced Pottery Lottery, and there are now 1,200 chests, and we had every item, and we were in like de facto go mode, just ready to finish. And then one small key for the swamp was missing, and we could not finish because of that. So we had to keep on looting hundreds of chests to get that one key.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, that mode is not ideal. It's just it's usually not the fastest way to play. Where is Norg? Ever play FF8?
I haven't.
Strongly don't recommend. Maybe it'll pick up. I say that, but it's getting slowly worse.
I was gonna say you're gonna have to update me on whether or not your opinion changes.
I got some gear where I can just change my character's health from 700 to like 6,000, and they're still trying to make the game hard by just letting the boss knock me to 1 health. I don't feel like you're a very big RPG player. I don't usually see you play those.
Nope, it's pretty rare.
But that attack is from Chrono Trigger, and in my experience, it's the first time I saw it, where the enemy can just... Demi is the name of the attack type. The gravity attacks, they just lower your health. I hate to see them. I don't like them. It's super unfair. It's just a panic to heal. That's the gameplay. It's such a confusing game.
Erupt's out of 2-2. I think he's heading into 2-3. This is good progress.
Digidigi's trying to solve this, but everyone is in World 2 now.
Yep, I think Tarragon and Digidigi are on 2-1 if I'm not mistaken. Dude and Vlad are on 2-2, and Rob just moved into 2-3. I think that's the standings right now.
Yeah, continues to be in the lead.
I wonder if we're going to find out later that Rob has actually played this before. Not that it matters, but it's just like Rob is like consistently crushing this game. Doing really well at it, so I wouldn't be shocked, I guess I would say, if Rob's like, yeah, I've played this before.
Yeah, gravity attacks are okay. They make you panic, they make you heal, because now your health is really low and any other attack will kill you. The problem is that FF8 did a cardinal gaming sin and combined gravity attack from player A, well, enemy A, with regular attack from enemy B, which is guaranteed fatal. Might as well be a one-hit kill. They were mixing that up. That's not okay. You're not supposed to do that. It's Final Fantasy 101. It's supposed to give us time to do something.
I always say that I find RPGs dull because it just feels like spreadsheet simulator, but I mean, there's lots of games I play that are literally just spreadsheet simulator, and I enjoy them, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
I feel like that's true of some of the Final Fantasies, not all of them. Certainly not Mario RPG, Chrono Trigger, Undertale. Those ones are the exceptions.
No, I've played Undertale. I enjoyed that because it deviated from the pattern. I need to play Mario RPG. It's on my short list. I'd like to play soon. I've watched tons of it, but I know I'll like it. I played the Mario and Luigi series. I love the Paper Mario game. I'm gonna say game. I'm more or less indifferent toward A Thousand Year Door, and the rest of them aren't Paper Mario. So
Chrono Trigger is doing a lot of risky moves.
I guess that's not fair. Not fair. The more modern ones I haven't played. I'm more just dunking on Super Paper Mario.
I need to play all those. I've only played Mario RPG. I like Chrono Trigger because it did a lot of weird things with the combat that ended up working, but its gameplay at its core is actually just it's kind of like going really hard on the Final Fantasy puzzle boss. Like, this boss is weak to fire. In Final Fantasy, that means I can hit him with fire if I feel like it, but I don't need to. I can still win if I just smack him. In Chrono Trigger, it means you're fucking dead if you don't do that. So you have to do some puzzle solving with the bosses. And if you do it, you will win. And if you don't, you are probably in big trouble.
See, I like things like that where there is an element of, if you can solve this problem. I don't know, I like that kind of puzzle solving aspect in some RPGs. I really don't like RPGs where it's just like, if you don't have the right armor and the right weapons, it's unwinnable. So you need to go grind some and buy better equipment. It
Yeah.
always feels like
I hate
it
that.
always feels like I'd like to hit the fast forward button, you know?
Yeah, that's not a problem with Mario RPG, and it's not a problem with Chrono Trigger, and those were my first two RPGs. When I went to Final Fantasy IV, that's when that became a problem.
I mean, that's one of the good things about all the Mario action command games is that, you know, like you can skill your way out of a bad matchup.
Mission 2-2 for Digi.
That's good progress. I think that puts almost everyone on 2-2 except for I think Rob and maybe... I guess Rob, Dude, and Vlad all seem to be on 2-3. Did you ever play Bug Fables?
I've seen you play it.
I really enjoyed that one for the same reasons I liked Paper Mario. It just felt like it had enough going on that kept me interested in continuing.
I think one of the problems I'm having with FF8 is an exaggeration of the problems that are in FF6 and a little bit of Chrono Trigger, where the translation just isn't there, and the mechanics are hard to understand even, and it's just clunky, and they tried to do a bunch of new stuff and it didn't work. It worked for Final Fantasy VI. They almost always do something new in the Final Fantasies, and they really went hard on Chrono Trigger, and then they decided it was bad and they remade the entire thing real fast and made a masterpiece. But everything in that game is... There's no random battles in Chrono Trigger, really. At least, I mean, there are, but you can, like, avoid most of them. That's something that they didn't do again. I don't know why. Mario RPG embraced that, and that's one of the reasons those games are going to be fun.
Yeah, Paper Mario does the same thing. If you're high enough level, you can just skip some fights.
You can see them on the world map, no random nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And if you touch one of those enemies and you're a high enough, like the disparity between your levels is big enough, awesome. They just die and turn into coins, and you get to keep moving.
Those games are so plot driven. They just happen to be mechanically sound. I feel like sometimes they just luckily are mechanically sound. Visions 2-3.
Well, I guess I have to say that I thought that wow, 2-5. I thought that this was going to be fairly straightforward because it's just a 2D platformer, but they've really shown how to make a more involved levels, kind of reminiscent of the PS1 Klonoa game.
I hate random encounters. They really drag things out. I would rather the game just be scaled better. Suikoden 1 does a thing where you can get strong enough, like you're saying, to weak enemies see you and they just don't randomly attack you anymore. You just don't get jumped.
Right.
That should be a common... like, you should be actively looking for enemies to fight if you want to. Like, you might need to. You might want to get, like, an item off some dude, and it would suck to not be able to. So you want to be able to force combat, but you don't want to... Some of the modern Final Fantasies really like to make you do a bunch of work.
I mean, did Final Fantasies not eventually solve that problem? I haven't played any Final Fantasy after 7.
They're action still, but they're still random, I'm pretty sure.
I feel like it's not too hard to just say, okay, if you're high enough level, you won't get encounters here unless you, like, let's say you have to equip a special item or something that makes it so that you still get encounters.
Maybe I play too many of them, but in my experience, you don't have to grind too much just because they're all the same in terms of difficulty, and once you've beaten one, you can beat them all. And the action ones are a little bit better about it, but I'm playing Final Fantasy VIII right now. The old version, I don't know if the remaster fixed it, but the old version certainly is the worst. One of the worst I've seen. We are hitting that 29-minute mark. We're almost done with Klonoa's journey here. I can't tell who's in front. but a couple players are on 2-4 and 5, and it looks like you can maybe skip 2-4 if you wanted to.
I think Vlad is on 2-5.
I don't know if skipping 2-4 does anything.
So 2-4 is, I think, another one of the auto scrollers, which aren't necessary to play.
Okay. I saw somebody skip it, that's why I was confused. Yeah, on the PlayStation 1, when you get random battles every 10 feet, and then it takes literally 35 to 40 seconds to do the camera work to start the fight. And I'm over here like... I want that Battle Network jump speed. That game jumps you a lot with random battles, and it's really frustrating, but at least they're over in 10 seconds from start to finish. One of its big appeals, honestly. Time.
There we go. That's it.
I think Rob is safely in first, nearly done with 2-5, has 2 keys. Getting the exact score. I mean, we can just have the players type in their level, just remove the dash, say Rob is on 25 or whatever, and Chrono Trigger. I mean, Chrono Trigger is a very snappy one. If you ever play Chrono Trigger, I'll be there. I'll be watching.
I need to. I played a lot of Chrono Trigger, I remember, as a kid, and, like, you know, find an emulator, you know it's a good game, so you play it.
Yeah. I helped somebody play it recently, and they got lost a lot because they didn't understand the art design on where the rooms were and where the camera was. And the DS version has like a map for the second screen, which completely obliterates that problem. Like, the DS version is so good.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the one where you have Frog as a party member, right?
Yeah, that's normal.
I remember him not being in my party anymore at one point. Like, he left my party, and I was so upset that I stopped playing the game.
He'll be back. Unless the character is actively murdered, generally speaking, they will be back in your RPG team. That's usually the way it goes. Yeah, Chrono Trigger is a very lighthearted journey with a frog and a robot and a cave woman in it on the team, so... And that's a good team, yeah.
Alright, well, it looks like, at a glance, Dude and Vlad both were on level 2-5. Rob is on 2-5 and hasn't recorded his... Oh, he did. Never mind. He did finally record his stuff. So we had 3 people on 2-5. Digi was on 2-2. And Tarragon was on 2-3, which are only 1 and 2 levels after since you skipped 2-4. So pretty good progress.
Yeah. Hey, nice race, everybody. Thanks for joining us for that.
Ton of fun.
Next week, we're probably going to look at Condria. I'm going to probably run through it and beat it on stream sometime this week. It looks like one night or two I could probably run through that if I really devote some time to it, especially if I look too hard at the speed run and see how quickly I can pull it off, because the speed run is under 5 minutes. It's closer to 4 than 5 at this point.
Well, you've got a demo to check out?
Yeah, I'm going to be playing that Resident Evil 4 demo that's out there on the bounty list.
All right, well, stick around, everyone.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I haven't seen Resident Evil 4 at all. Like, that's... Everybody has holes in their gaming, and mine was like... I grew up with Resident Evil 2, loved it. Played, like, 90s retro music on the radio. No, I don't know, 90s pop music on the radio, like Eve 6. Whenever I hear Eve 6, I just think of Resident Evil 2, because I always was playing that game, and that was always on the radio. So that damn song and those are just, like, memory linked. I played so much of that game. And then I don't know, Resident Evil 3... I hear it's bad, but it also took a million years to come out, so I just kind of fell off of it, and I never played any of the other ones after that, so... This is new to me. I know 4 is one of, if not the most popular one, and it looks like the remake's coming out soon or something, so I'm gonna try this and see if I should be playing all of these games.
For sure. All right, we'll take it easy.
I'm going out the blues. Thanks for coming by.
Yep, bye.